Welcome to All About the Experiences. Today marks my 19th episode. In light of this week being Thanksgiving, I wanted to focus on gratitude. We may not be able to gather for Thanksgiving as we have in the past due to the pandemic and probably other things, but that doesn't mean that we can't celebrate, reflect, and be grateful. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays, mainly because it was my mom's favorite, and I miss her. I miss her every day, but I think I miss her more around the holidays, especially the ones that she truly enjoyed. And like her, I really enjoy Thanksgiving because it's not about gift giving and, kind of the other commercial types of things that have been attached to the holidays, but it's about spending time with your family. It's about eating great food and it's about reflecting. And what better way to reflect but from a perspective of gratitude? And so, with that being said, that's going to be our focus today, especially as we are heading quickly, or the Thanksgiving holiday is quickly approaching. And I'm really looking forward to it. And again, it's going to look different this year. Obviously, because of the pandemic, we are really managing how many people we have around us and making sure that those that are with compromised immune systems, that we're being mindful of their health and our own health and safety. So with that being said, I hope that you and your family and your loved ones are getting together in one way or another. And we'll touch on that throughout this podcast today on different ways that you can connect, even if it means that you're not necessarily in the same home. There's other ways to connect, as we all know. Virtual has become what used to be a thing of the future. It's become our present and everyday way of communicating. So, with that being said, let's get into it. This is an opportunity for us to enhance our connections by thinking outside the box. And I know we're somewhat tired of connecting virtually. I mean, there's nothing like being face to face and being able to see someone smile or hug them. In our family, we're very touchy feely. We hug when we see each other. We hug all throughout the day, and especially we have those tight hugs when someone is departing and going back to their prospective homes. And so, with that being said, obviously, if we're not in the same rooms, we're not going to be able to necessarily have that physical connection, but it does not mean that we cannot connect. And so, with that being said, there's thousands of ways to connect virtually, whether you're using Zoom or Skype or Teams or FaceTime or whatever the medium is. There's always a way to connect. And there's something to be said about getting a card. I have to say, my oldest sister, Latanya McNeil Jones, I got to give my sister a shout out. She is all about the old school way, as the kids would say it, of communicating. It never fails that on a birthday or Christmas or Thanksgiving, or just because she's always willing to drop you a note, whether it be via a card or a note or a letter. And I have to say, I have fallen victim to technology and texting rather than writing. But there's something to be said about when you open your mail and or the mailbox, I should say, and you see in the mail that there's a card amongst the bills, of course, but there's something there that's meaningful, and that it has a lot of um, heartfelt sentiments behind it. And so that's always important. So, with that being said, it's nice to have those alternate means of communication and give someone something unexpected, which is really nice. The other thing is that when we are meeting face to face, it's important that we are being mindful of the things that are set in place by the CDC, and that meaning the recommendations to make sure that we're protecting not only ourselves, but each other. And so, with that being said, obviously, still wearing your mask, limiting the amount of people that you're coming in contact with, um, basic hand washing. I mean, let's face it, we all need to do that. The other thing is just making sure that you are keeping a tab on how you're feeling. You know, a lot of people have spread this virus because they didn't even know that they had it. Getting tested is really important. And just really following those guidelines will help us slow the spread. And that's really important. So I hope that that's ever present in you all's minds as we go into not only the Thanksgiving holiday, but all the holidays and every day in between. It's so important. You know, a lot of our many, how can I say this, Thanksgiving rituals that you may have in your family, even though it's definitely 2020 is looking vastly different, I'm certain, than any other year that we've come into the holiday season. It's really important to kind of hang on to those traditions. And in our family, you know, I tend to be the person who cooks, but we all collectively bring something. And it may be that you're not able to cook in the same kitchen, but why not use one of those mediums of uh, Facebook, um, Instagram? There's a lot of ways you can go live and connect with lots of people. And so I know that my little sister, who normally we have a little competition about who's going to have the better mac and cheese. And so, Megan, to you, I will see you tomorrow morning in the kitchen on FaceTime and we'll start the macaroni and cheese. I'm just saying. But I'm looking forward to still being able to share those same rituals and things that we've come to love about the holidays. We're just going to do it differently. That's all. And I think when you don't relinquish those rituals, you just kind of alter them a little bit, obviously, because of the distancing, it can still be had and you can still feel connected. And so I'm looking forward to that. For me, gratitude brings about happiness through feelings of joy and optimism and satisfaction and quite frankly a myriad of other positive emotions. And I look forward to taking that time to give of myself and also reflect on the things that I have to be thankful for. Earlier today, I went into Vaughn's and there was a lady in there that was talking to another shopper, and she had a lot of things that were going on in her life that weren't necessarily positive. And she was mentioning that, you know, this is just hard. The holidays are hard, but this whole year has been very difficult. And it sounded like that she had lost her job. And, you know, of course, money is tight. And there were some people who were ill that she wasn't able to get to. And in all this, I'm looking and I'm just feeling for her. But at the end, she says, "But I'm so thankful because I woke up this morning." Something to be grateful for. You know, there's certainly folks that I'm certain wanted to wake up this morning but didn't. And so be grateful and thankful for your health. Be grateful and thankful if you have remained COVID free. Be thankful and grateful if you have a job. It may not be the best job, it may not even be the job that you want, but you have a job and you're able to sustain yourself and your family. And so sometimes we have to turn that glass and look at it and say, the glass is half full, it's not half empty. And just be thankful for those things. For me, gratitude, it totally reduces my anxiety, especially when I'm thinking about things that are totally out of my control, much like it has been in the wake of this pandemic. And I mean, there are things that we can do to protect ourselves, but nothing is 100%. And instead of getting so caught up into wondering, am I going to catch this disease? Am I going to do this? I focus on the things that I can control. I can control how I move in life and minimize my risk by hand washing, hand sanitizers, gloves, you know, using my PPE to protect myself and my family. and just really being mindful of those that are around me, even when they don't necessarily remember to do those key and important things. I can do, and I can serve as a reminder to them, not by going up and, browbeating them, but just by how I carry myself and being a reminder and positive reflection. I have to say, a lot of my altruistic spirit has come from my family. I can think about my grandmother and my great grandmother as a little girl sitting there, and I would see them, cooking our family dinner. And, everybody would come and contribute. I'm thinking, this is more food than we could possibly eat, not only today, but the rest of the week. But before we would sit down to eat, they would put together these platters of food and go out and feed the homeless. And they wanted it to be hot so that they could enjoy a hot meal. I can remember volunteering, at our local food bank. And also, my great grandmother was a part of the Dorcas Society, and just doing things to give back to the community, doing things for those that are less fortunate. And in doing so, it gives you this positive feeling that you know that you're doing something good for others. But then also, you know that when you give of yourself, all that does is produce these wonderful endorphins within yourself. And I'm telling you, in the midst of all the things that where we're feeling very, it's easy depressed during this time, it gives you something positive to really reflect upon. And so, with that being said, all I can say is pay it forward. And that mentality will connect us, and it fosters compassion and sets a tone of kindness. And I can't tell you how much kindness is needed. We've seen so much negativity, not just, I mean, this year has been epic, from racial and political unrest to just simply people not being kind and not being considerate and just not being good humans. But this is a time that every moment that you have that you're drawing breath, you can make a difference. You can make a change. And my thing is, this is an opportunity for you to cultivate gratitude. And people are like, well, how do you cultivate gratitude? Like, what does that mean? For me, that's not only doing random acts of kindness, but also just reflecting on how I feel, much like waking up today, knowing that maybe someone else didn't, but I did. I'm grateful for that. As much as my kids, they drive me nuts, and I'm ready to get into the kitchen and there's still a kitchen to be cleaned. I'm grateful that they're here and that this will be an opportunity for me to probably fuss at them while they're doing it, but time spent. And the other thing that I do, and I have to tell you, a beautiful woman that most of us know because she's in television, Kim Coles. I met her several years ago at a women's empowerment conference here in San Diego, and she inspired me. She inspired me by obviously being one of the keynotes, and she had lots of positivity to share. But even before she went on the stage, she saw me, and I told her, I was like so excited. I kind of fangirled out, and I was just like, I've got to get a picture with you. I need to connect with you. I just, can you sign my book? And so she started, at the time, and I'll put this up, she had a gratitude journal. And when I tell you, when you ask, you shall receive. So she signed my gratitude journal. And she told me when she was walking away, as she's whisking up to the stage, she was just like, you have to promise to use it. And I was like, of course, hello. But it wasn't until I got home, and it was almost several weeks later when I had an opportunity, I was able to go through this gratitude journal and really see how many wonderful things that were in there. And one of the first pages that I opened up, it's about family and friends. And so I'm just going to read this real quick. It says, family is not just about the people you are born with, it is also about the people you choose. And anybody that knows me knows I'm a ride or die when it comes to my family, both the ones that we share the same bloodline, but also the ones that I choose and, or I chose, I should say. And I am very fortunate to have so many wonderful people in my life, family and friends. And this podcast is definitely a great reflection of that. As anybody that has been following me, a lot of people that I come in contact, whether it's through work, for on the professional side, or just my everyday life when I'm connecting with family and friends, they've all had some sort of presence. And I'm very fortunate to have these people who believe in me and who want to come on and share their stories and, uplift others, but also support me in my dream of what I'm doing. And so, with that being said, I just have to give a shout out to Kim Cole. She's one of those people. She has invited me onto several of her platforms to listen to other positive folks that are doing great things and that are always willing to lend a hand. And it doesn't matter what walk of life that they're coming from. There's something of value that is seen in that. And one other thing that I wanted to say that stood out to me in this gratitude journal was there is an area that covers health, and it's in the quote. Excuse me, I'm a little tongue tied. Taking care of your health is showing appreciation to the temple that you've been given, and that resonates so much right now in light of everything that's going on from the pandemic. We all know our health is our wealth. Our health is what has me, here before you right now, being able to share and talk about things that are not only important to me, but I hope you also would deem important from the standpoint of gratitude. And so, I bring all of this up to say that having this gratitude journal has been really wonderful. I would suggest that you don't even have to have, I mean, I always will plug Kim Cole, she's amazing, but whether you have a gratitude journal or if it's, a tablet or a notebook that you have laying around, I just suggest that you record about 3 or 4 things that you are grateful for every week. And then you don't necessarily have to look at it, the same week. Maybe you'll look at it a month from now. I love journaling. I love getting my feelings out. Sometimes it's hard if you want to express something to someone and you're unable to do it, or you're not necessarily in a right frame of mind. I totally enjoy journaling because I'm able to get all of those feelings out right then and there, write them down, and I'm honoring myself in doing so. And then later on, when I've calmed down or whatever the emotion I was experiencing, I'll come back and I'll read it, and it'll help me self analyze where I was at, why I was feeling that way, and hopefully have an opportunity to really start thinking how I can communicate those feelings in a respectful way, but still honoring my feelings to the person that I needed to address, if that was the case. But that's just a suggestion. Also, a lot of evidence suggests that when you keep a gratitude journal, you're able to express not only your gratitude towards others, but also, again, honoring yourself. Maybe you've done something that you didn't think that you would be able to, and you accomplished that goal, and you feel grateful because it's propelling you to the next level of something. I think it's really important to write gratitude letters to anybody that's truly important in your life and that you maybe never properly thanked, or that you did thank and you wanted to add a little additional things on there. I don't know. It's really important just to honor those that are in your life and show them that, as my late mother would say, give those folks their flowers while they're here. I'm so glad I had that opportunity. It just made me think about that. Um, The last time I saw my mom before she passed, I had the opportunity to see her. And the last thing that I said to her was that I loved her. I'm so grateful for that. Not that I didn't think that she didn't know that I loved her, but knowing that that was the last time that I saw her, she knew. I was able to look at her and tell her I love her. And that's something that I hold with me. Mind you, she had me stop off at Wingstop on the way there to pick up her favorite lemon pepper wings and some tea and yeast rolls. But it's a wonderful feeling to know that I was able to honor how I felt, and knowing that those were some of the last moments that she would spend on this earth, but also that I would spend with her, and I was able to share with her exactly how I felt about her. And so letting people know how you feel about them is really important, and honoring how you feel is really important. So I'd say I challenge you all that are here listening and viewing. I challenge you to either start your own gratitude journal, and you can really kind of manage or be mindful of your gratitude and how you're navigating through life and see that growth. Or the other side of things is a happiness calendar. And I think it's really important to, a lot of times we live by our calendars. I know I do, in my work, as well as, meeting obligations and milestones in my personal life. And so I definitely live by the calendar. But if you have some goals that you want to reach that don't deal with work and don't deal with some obligation that you have outside, but just deal with things that you want to accomplish for you, put those on the calendar. It may be that you decide that I need to at least acknowledge someone each day or smile at I don't know, at a stranger. I don't know when you're going to be able to do that with the mask on, but it could be anything. I'm kind of rambling right now, but I mean, it could literally be anything. I mean, let's face it, you can smile at a perfect stranger and you never know what they're going through, and it could completely make their day. So just throwing that out there. As we embark upon Thanksgiving, and we're still very present in this pandemic, we're still dealing with the challenges of the racial and definitely the political climate as well. I think it's really a great time for us to focus on gratitude and how to cultivate it. And if you're still unclear of what gratitude is it's really powerful. It has the power to change and enrich lives. It's basically the acknowledgement and the appreciation of what you deem important and meaningful. And essentially, it's being thankful for the people, the places, and the things that you have going on in your life that bring you joy. And I can honestly say the benefits of gratitude are absolutely priceless, and they carry me throughout my day. And I'm very fortunate that I have, again, people around me that I can express my gratitude towards. And there's this level of mindfulness that comes with being grateful. And I feel like that fosters positivity, and definitely is a stress reducer, and helps with your anxiety if you have any. And I feel like we become definitely healthier and happier and more present. And by being present, I mean in that moment. Every moment counts, and I'm a firm believer in that. I feel that you know um, sometimes we get so set in our routines that we just kind of go through the motions, and we realize that there are people that are there that we obviously love in our lives, but we definitely want to take that time in those moments that are given to us, as they are precious, and really honor and acknowledge that, and let people know what they mean to you. I can't say that enough. I've lost several people this year. And one of the things that I'm really thankful for is that I've always made sure that even when I've had some hiccups with folks, when I say hiccups, it can't always be peaches and cream. We all know this. But I still acknowledge how I felt in that moment, but I also acknowledge what they mean to me. And that may foster that level of communication between you and that person. So I encourage you to um, live in the moment, live unapologetically, and live a life of gratitude. It definitely does something not only for yourself, but for those that are around you. And so, with that being said, this is going to be a short podcast today because I have lots of cooking to do. And I have lots of connecting to do, whether it be via Zoom or, Instagram or FaceTime. But I know that this year looks definitely different in way of the holidays. But I think it's really important for us still to connect, still to honor those that are around us, honor those that are no longer here with us either, and be thankful for the time that we did have with them. And so, with that being said, this being my 19th episode, and I'm feeling so incredibly empowered in this journey. I'm still learning. I've looked back at a few of the old or older podcast episodes, and I've seen my growth, and I still see where I have lots of growth to go. I catch myself still saying and, but as I continue to progress in this journey, I'm working on that. Before I leave, I want to wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. I want to encourage you to connect with those that are important to you and those folks that you love. And also honor yourself. A lot of times we give so much of ourselves that we forget to take care of the temple. And we all know our health is our wealth. Please stay safe. Wash your hands, wear your mask, and most importantly, let people know what they mean to you. We have one life to live, and let's live it. So take care of each other, and more importantly, take care of yourself and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I hope that it is completely experiential and you don't eat too much. Take care.